to the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway. Terry Collins along with Jeff Barnes. And Jeff, looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Terry. I'm so honored to be here.
For us, basketball is already started. We've got to do a few games, but it's still, football's still going on. We've still got the Blue Cross Bowl, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in Chattanooga, which is coming up this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But it sure is nice to be in the friendly confines, the warmth of a gym versus being out on the gridiron.
Yeah, it's one of the things when you're on the gridiron, you start out the season in the sweltering heat,
right?
And then you have to suffer through that, and then you have maybe one or two games where it's kind of comfortable, right? And then you get the freezing cold right at the end as you go into the playoffs.
The good thing this year, we've had the best weather football-wise that we've had all year. I think one game it was raining, and the rest of the time it was just about perfect temperatures. Never got too hot, never got too cold, and that worked out really, really well. Let's go ahead and look as we're going to had a couple of games that we've already done. DeKalb County at Cannon County. DeKalb County girls gets the win, 56-53. That was in Woodbury. Ella Van Branken, an outstanding player for DeKalb, no doubt be one of their leaders. She had 17 points, 1 three-pointer. Avery Agee, 12 points, a couple of threes. She had some key free throws down the stretch for them. Cannon County led by Anderson Holt with 14 points. Bella Pelham with 11. Looking at the boys' side of it, Cannon County, a last-second shot, wins it 44-42. Braden Emberton gets loose underneath, hits the go-ahead layup with 1.3 seconds left. Theo Winters leads Cannon County with 13 points, 2 three-pointers. Joey Agee, the first-year head coach for DeKalb, his team falls after being up 11 or 12 points there in the ball game, but wound up losing it. Stetson Agee with 12 points. He had 1 3, and then Robert Wheeler with 10. DeKalb County, a team, Jeff, that has a lot of people returning.
They do, and even though they got this loss, I think that they're going to be okay. And districts coming up in about a week, and DeKalb I think is going to hold their own. I think they were picked like 3rd or 4th in the preseason. So I think DeKalb's going to be okay. And you mentioned on the girls' side, Van Branken. It starts with her. If she's on, DeKalb is very tough to stop. And I saw how they were against White County last year because both games were close, and DeKalb boys was able to pull off a win.
When you look at the unknown, and I guess anytime you've got a first-year head coach, which both the DeKalb counties have. Not that they're not good coaches, but it takes players a little while to get acclimated to a new system versus what they had a year ago.
Exactly, and Coach Fish has moved on. I think and I know that's a tough spot for the players, for both the girls and the boys. But DeKalb, I think they're going to be okay. Especially on the boys' side, you got Joey Agee coaching.
When you look at DeKalb, they play in one of the tougher, if not the toughest district in any classification in the state. When you look at the success that these teams have had, and we'll get to records and stuff a little bit later, but it's murder's row. If you just make the region tournament, you've done something in that district.
Yeah, exactly. And and I argue with a lot of people, and I say District 7 AAA is the toughest in AAA, because you look at all the competition, and just like you said earlier, you got 6 or 7 teams that are fighting for 4 spots, and all 6 teams could go into the region and just battle with anyone. But whenever you get to the region part, then you got to put up with the Page, the Tullahomas, right, the Nolensvilles.
Right.
So that part of the district and region, to me, is the toughest.
You're battle tested for sure after going through the gamut that you have to go through when you go to these, especially when you play on the road, because there's some awfully tough places to play when you looking at going to Cumberland County or Stone or White County or Livingston. Those are basketball towns, and traditionally, they have a lot of success. They're very successful on the floor, and they've got great community support.
And that's one thing with White County. They travel very well, and it's tough to win on the road in that district. Coach Dodgton always says, try to steal one on the road, protect home, but try and get one on the road. And that's especially tough in District 7 AAA when you think about, going to Upperman, going to Livingston, and then you have a long trip to Macon County that you got to do.
Right. Another featured game we have was Gordonsville at Watertown, and when you look at that, got an opportunity to see that game, a game that you did.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia Brown, big for Gordonsville. They win at 50-45. She scores 25 points, hits 5 threes. Kamara Young, 9 points. Madison King with 13. Kira McClary with 10. When you look at Gordonsville, they're much improved, I think, from a year ago. They've got kind of a new cast of character. Yeah, Brown is probably their leading returning player from a year ago. But when you look at Jake Dillard's squad, they've got some players. Of course, they've got Livy in there now. Coach Stephen Jackson, the football coach's daughter, that has really picked them up and given them another option to score. And it seems like the Gordonsville's improved in that category. They always play tough defense, but they've definitely improved on the offensive end.
Having just about everybody back has been very helpful. But it looked like in that game, Watertown might have been taking control, because Madison King, you mentioned, 3 3-pointers, 13 points for the game. She was key in that first half. So I thought it was a game that Watertown, was going to control. But give Olivia Brown a lot of credit. She really picked Gordonsville up in the second half. In her 25 points, she gets half of the team's points. So I thought, Olivia did very well. And I think they've got, Callie Underwood, who's been playing since she was an 8th grader on that team.
When you look at Gordonsville and what Jake Dillard has tried to build and establish, you can tell that those fruits of his labor are coming to fruition, because he coaches the junior high team, and they're very, very much improved. Now looking at the boys' score, it was 16-12 Gordonsville after one quarter, and then Watertown goes on a mini 6-0 run in the second, and Gordonsville pulls away at the end, despite missing tons and tons of free throws. They win at 40-35. Brody Sykes leading the way inside the 13. Ryder Grissom, a couple of threes. He had 10 points. Trent Spradlin, he looks to be the Purple Tigers' go-to player. He had 16. Of course, you've got another first-year head coach there for Watertown.
Yeah, and in this game here, you talked about Gordonsville being shut out in the second quarter, up, I think, 16-10, 16-12, and to go down, I know that they're probably going in thinking, oh my gosh, we just got shut out in the second quarter, but you're only down by a basket, so it could have been worse. So I don't think that they were too worried about that. And then they come out, and what a second half it was. But it just seemed like, shots wasn't falling, and it was like, is anybody going to pull away and win this game?
Right.
And but Gordonsville did enough. And you talked about missing the free throws, and that's it's November. Hopefully those things get worked out, and come February, they'll have this, they'll be able to hit those free throws in those game time situations.
Let's look at the Sonic for Carthage District 7A girls. Pickett big over Jellicoe. Pickett again big over Monterey. That's on Friday and Saturday. Then on Monday, Gordonsville goes over to Watertown and wins, and Clark Range gets a big win over Wartburg. Go ahead and looking at some more Sonic and Carthage scores from Tuesday night. Clark Range over Cumberland County. That's a big win for their girls. Cumberland County, I think that's their only loss. Gordonsville beats Trousdale. Livingston beats Pickett, and Clay and Macon, because of the Blue Cross Bowl, Clay County being its first ever appearance, postponed that game till December the 12th. Look at the 7A girls standings. Pickett on top, 4-1. Clark Range 4-2. Red Bowling under first-year head coach at 2-1. Gordonsville 2-2, and Clay County at 1-2. Looking at the Sonic of Carthage scores, Pickett County big over Jellicoe, 84-43. And then Pickett the next night hit 17 threes as they beat Smith County 68-46. That was a close game at half. Other scores, On Monday, Gordonsville, as we talked about earlier, beats Watertown at Watertown. Park-Range big over Wartburg. And then last night, that would have been a thriller to watch. Livingston and Pickett County. Livingston 82-73. Of course, a couple of Livingston's players, I don't know if you call it defective, transferred, whatever, to Pickett. But Livingston gets the big win. Then Clark Range over Cumberland County, and then Clay County and Macon County, as we said earlier, they postponed due to Clay County being. Clay County has played 3 games, I guess, so far, but they only had about 6 players. And Coach Rob Edwards, of course, waiting for those football players to get done, which will be this Friday. So I'd say in the coming weeks, Jeff, they'll be a team to reckon with. They've got some pretty good talent.
I think so too, and and to get them back in time, because I think most teams in about a week on December the 9th is going to be in district action. So to get them in time in district play, I know he's going to breathe a sigh of relief.
Of course, some of these teams don't play districts till the first of the year, and then others that have larger districts, they get started here in about the second week of December. And that's one thing right now. I don't know that you can judge a team how good or bad they are until they get all those football boys back and them get acclimated from tackling somebody to playing on the hardwood.
Exactly.
And that should be. Let's go ahead and look at the District 7A boys standings. Pickett sitting there at 4-1 with their loss last night, their first of the season to Livingston in overtime. Clark Range, an improved team, 4-2. Smith County beat them earlier at Clark Range in Hall of Fame game. Red Boiling Springs, a team I think is on the up and up. They're 2-1. Of course, they went winless here a year or two ago, but seemed to kind of turn the corner. Gordonsville sit there at 2-2. And Clay County, you really can't judge them at 1-2 just because they hadn't got their football players back yet. We'll check out the scores in District 6AA and 7 AAA. We'll return to the box score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business, we'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
Neighbors help each other. It's how community works. And it's how we do business at DTC. You can count on us for internet, TV, and phone, backed by local support.
For a limited time, get 1 month free when you add or upgrade your internet package. Enjoy internet speed that can keep up with all you do.
DTC. We're working hard to be a good neighbor.
Welcome back to the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway. We want to thank Todd and Angela for doing that for the entire basketball season. It's a long way. It's a long way to February. I know these coaches right now, Jeff, they feel like that February is a year away.
Yeah, I know they feel like it, but I tell you, it goes very, very quickly. And by the time you get to February, they're looking back at the start of the season. They're saying, right, wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it definitely was. Let's go ahead and look at some District 6AA scores first. Sonic and Carthage, we appreciate them sponsored. Smith County gets the big road win up at Byrdstown in the Pickett County Thanksgiving Classic, 65-58. Ariel Halton with career high 27, Chloe Collins career high 23 as they beat Monterey, who I think sitting there about 4-2. Of course, Monterey is in the same region. They're in District 5 AA up there with York. Westmoreland, the team no doubt probably to beat in 6AA, wins big over Wilson Central. Jeff, the margin of that shows you just how good the Lady Eagles are once again.
Yeah, I tell you, and Wilson Central's been struggling a couple of years, but Westmoreland, we're gonna be talking with Coach Patrick soon, and that's they're gonna be the Giants to take down.
For sure. Cannon County over Houston, and on Saturday, Smith County over Jellicoe. Upperman gets the big win over Westmoreland. But when you look, Upperman sitting there at the district that they're in, the defending class, defending state champion. Mm-hmm. They finished 3rd or 4th in their district a year ago, and just the gauntlet that they went through in order to get there. And of course, that makes Justin Malden their guy that does all the graphics for us. It makes him very proud, him being a former Bee.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he was beaming on them winning that state. Right. But that goes, you and I talked earlier about District 7 AAA, yeah. and you're right. Upperman finished 4th in the regular season. Right. They come up. I think they were runners up in the district, wound up winning the region, and then go to the state. Who would have thought the Upperman Queen Bees, who finished 4th, but that just goes to show any team out of that district can win.
Cannon County beats Hutchinson. Other scores, Sonic and Carthage, we appreciate them sponsoring that. Gordonsville at Watertown, a game that you and I got to see, wins 50-45. And then last night, Smith County gets the big win over Jackson County in Gainsborough, 49-36. Let's go ahead and look at the girls' standings. Cannon County sitting on top, 4-1. Their only loss, of course, was to their rival, DeKalb County. We'll jump into that with Coach Patrick a little bit later. Westmoreland sitting there at 4-2. But Jeff, they have played an extremely tough schedule. The Lady Eagles, they don't shy away from anybody. They play anybody from 1A to 4A, and they compete with those. And they're battle tested once they get to the regular season district or the postseason.
Yeah, you talk to any coach, they're going to say the only way to get better is play better competition. Right. And you talk about Westmoreland, they're going to be tough come district time in January.
Coach Perry always does a good job with them. They're really defense oriented, and you may see them struggle to score, but defense, they're usually on lockdown and give great effort on that end. Matt Farrell there for Smith County, they've won 4 in a row, started out 0-2. Of course, Jeff, when you look at their 2 losses at Clay County and at Clark Range, a lot of people are going to do that. That's 2 single A powers that year in, year out challenge for the state championship.
Yeah, and probably we're going to see them back in Murfreesboro this year. Lamar does a great job over at Clark Range. They're going to be tough, but like it, we go back to where it says, you play the best. That gets you ready, for games like your district, which is coming up.
Watertown 0-3, but when you look in their second-year head coach, you see at times improvement, Of course, it's kind of a new cast of character. A few girls that, they had some girls graduate, had some girls that didn't come back. So, yes, there's some experienced girls coming, that they're coming back. But I think their ability to score probably, that lies their hopes for wins this year, because they always play hard on the defensive end.
Yeah, and it's a tale of two halves with Watertown. Got off to a good start against Gordonsville, but just in the second half, King was very instrumental. I think King got 11 of her 13 in the first half, and give Gordonsville a lot of credit. They really clamped down on King in the second half, and it really affected the team.
Definitely did. And you take the length that the player that she had was on her, and when you look at Libby, I mean, she's, the graphic, 5'10", 5'11", long arms. It's difficult when King is standing maybe 5'4" to get off a shot against a player that goes belly to belly, because she was mirroring her all over the floor, and it really hurt Watertown's offense. Let's go ahead and look at some Sonic Carthage scores from District 6 AA. Upperman big over Cannon County by 25. Monterey gets a turnover and a blocked three-point attempt up in Byrdstown to remain undefeated. And when you look at Monterey, Jeff, their team's going to be reckoned with. They're undefeated on the boys' side. Linus Martin, former DeKalb County coach, is up there now. And, of course, they've had the transfer, Trey Monet, that come from, who was originally at Cookeville, then went to Jackson County. Now he's at Monterey. He gives them an outstanding score.
Yeah, he is, and I got a chance to see him at Cookeville. He's one of those special players, and I think Cookeville's they're going to be hurting a little bit, not having him anymore. Of course, I think they lost him last year to Jackson, but Linus Martin, everywhere he goes, he does a good job.
Well, he's very intense, and he expects his players to play that way. On Saturday, you had Wilson Central big over Cannon's boys, and then Pickett County hit 17 threes and beat Smith County 68-46. Let's go ahead and look at some more scores from District 6 AA. Gordonsville, of course, gets the win on Monday night over Watertown. Jackson County over Smith County last night. Smith County really struggled, only 8 points. They led by 9 at halftime, 23-14, but they only get outscored 24-8 in the second half. The game was tied, actually, after 3 quarters at 25 all. Smith County led with 3:48 left by a point, but they'll only score 2 points the rest of the game. And then Ezel Harding defeats Westmoreland boys. Westmoreland boys, if I'm not mistaken, under Cherie Abner's guidance. And when we look at these standings, you look at Westmoreland, they've definitely improved. They're sitting there at 4-1, Cannon County at 3-2. Smith County at 2-4. Of course, Smith County still has 3 football players in Hicks and Lyda and Curry that haven't played, that started a year ago, and then Watertown sitting there at 2-3. Let's go ahead and look at the 7 AAA boys scores. Sonic and Carthage bringing us that. Upperman over Hutchinson. Stone Memorial over Meigs County in a defensive battle. Livingston over Carnes. Warren County over DeKalb. There's just a tough girls district, Jeff, in 7 AAA.
It is, and DeKalb playing Warren County, that's kind of a rival game for them. I know that they had to be disappointed. That was their first loss of the year, but Anthony Lippy over at Warren County has done a good job turning that girls program around. That's been down for quite a few years. And Warren County expected to be in the mix in that 4-team district over in 4A.
For sure. Let's go ahead and look at some more scores from Saturday. Upperman over Westmoreland, Cumberland over Meigs, Livingston over Carter, Stone Memorial over William Blunt. Other scores from the week, Tuesday, November 29th, Livingston a big win over Pickett, 61-55. Then Cumberland County beats Clark Range. White County girls, I think Coach Michael Dodgen, over Warren County. Just shows you, Jeff, what quality team he has year in and year out.
Yeah, and they last night against Warren County, they didn't pull away until late. They started hitting their free throws toward the end, which is what you want to see. Last 4 minutes is the one that makes the difference. White County, that game was actually a lot closer. It looked like White County was going to pull away. Warren County did a good job. They would press. They moved the ball. They moved the ball very well. But White County behind Celeste Reed with the 23 points. Nia Powers, who's their big girl, playing with a flu.
Oh, okay.
And held to 5 points. And if people look at the graphic and say, "Well, Nia had a tough night," no, she was trying to gut it out and give her props for doing that.
Just to be out there. And that's the one thing this year. We've had COVID that's hitting again. We've had flu. We've had the stomach bug. A lot of these players are having to battle through that right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's earlier because normally, coaches are facing this in January and going into the first part of February, and they're getting it right off the bat.
Let's go ahead and look at the girls' standings for 7 AAA. White County and Upland both undefeated. They're at 5-0. Livingston at 5-1. Stone at 5-2. DeKalb 4-1. Cumberland County 4-1. Macon County's improved under first-year head coach Caitlin Thompson at 2-3, replacing the legend Larry White. But when you look at this district, and it's got 7 teams in it, awfully tough. Each night out, and you hadn't started district play yet, but they played some very good non-district competition thus far.
Yeah, and the big one coming up next Friday night, White County and Upperman to start district play. So both teams may be undefeated going into that. Of course, White County's got a tough game with Cookeville coming up Friday night. But what a way to open district play when you got White County taking on Upperman. And, as you mentioned, Stone's going to be improved from last year. DeKalb's going to be in the mix. Cumberland County, even though, they're 4-1, they're going to be tough to beat. This, once again, is anybody's district to win. And whoever comes out of this could be another state champion, just like Upperman last year.
That's for sure. Let's look at the 7 AAA Sonic and Carthage scores. Stone Memorial big over Meigs County. DeKalb disappoints Danny Fish in his return to Smithville. They win at 68-66. Upperman big over Cannon. Meigs over Cumberland County, and Upperman over Whites Creek. Other scores, looking at Clark Range over Cumberland County, the game we talked about earlier. Livingston, a big win over Pickett by 9 in overtime. White County beats Warren County, and then Clay and Macon postponed due to the Clay County boys being in the state championship football game under Bruce Lamb. And let's go ahead and look at the standings as we finish up this segment. Stone sitting there on top at 5-0, White County 4-0, Livingston at 4-0. DeKalb's lost 1. They're sitting there at 4-1. They're only lost to Cannon. In what I would say was an upset, Upperman at 2-0, and then Cumberland and Macon under first-year head coach Michael Owens. But still a very, very tough district. We'll have an interview with County Lionettes coach Ashley Patrick in our next segment on the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business, we'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
And welcome back to the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. And we've got Coach Ashley Patrick of the Cannon County Lionettes with us. And Coach, in your second season now, we appreciate you taking time to visit with us.
Oh, anytime. I enjoy being with y'all.
Coach, you lost 4 seniors from a year ago that were pretty integral in what you did. You had a successful season. I know you would have liked to go further. But you got some cast of characters that pretty familiar for our viewers. And when you look at Jenna Bush and Addison Holt and Bella Pelham, 3 players that have been key for you and started for several years.
Yeah, we definitely are glad to have those 3 back. But we've had some newcomers that have really stepped into the role as well. And I knew they would, so it's really not a surprise to me. You always hate to see a group go, but it's always nice to know that you've got a group coming up that's going to step in and fill those shoes and do a good job doing it. And so we've got some freshmen and sophomore that have done a good job with us so far.
Coach, your record 4-1 so far. You're only lost to DeKalb County at home. I think that was by 3. That's always a big rivalry game for your team. You just didn't play well. It didn't seem like you could ever get into sync. Of course, you did have the lead on several occasions during that game, but it just seemed, and I don't know why, but it just seemed like that your team could never get in the groove.
Yeah, and I try not to let games hinder me for much longer after the game's over, but that one really has stung because when you know that you can compete with a team and you can even win a game, to come out on the other end of that as taking the loss when really your team just didn't show up to play. I mean, there's no other excuse to it, and DeKalb did show up to play. So that's really kudos to them. But I'm trying to not let that one linger, but I was not happy that night that we had an opportunity to win and we just weren't able to seal it because we didn't show up to play.
Coach, I know you missed some free throws in the final quarter, but there was a lot of turnovers that both teams committed. Yes, both teams were playing hard on defense, but the decision making wasn't the greatest. And I know that's probably something that you have visited with your team about, maybe in looking at film or talking with them after the game and before your next game.
Yeah, we went back and we broke down just about every play of that game. And that goes to, we turned the ball over a lot, but we allowed, a player or 2 to get comfortable on their team. And we didn't make any adjustment even after, we had asked them to on how to defend. And we never went to the grind and did that. So that was kind of disappointing that night that we let them run our game, and I didn't like that. But we've let that go, and since then I think our turnovers have been limited. And that night, Aniston did some turnovers that night that she doesn't typically do. So that from her, that wasn't expected. And she's not really done that all season long. It was just that night. I don't know what was mentally going on there, but I can kind of expect a couple turnovers out of my freshmen and sophomores. But she doesn't need to do that, and she knew exactly that she didn't need to do that. So she's got her head on straight now, and so we're headed forward.
Despite the turnovers that you had, with it being in November, you're trying to get all the kinks worked out and get back into game time action. Is this something that is this something that it's not big of a worry, or do you want to get this corrected come Christmas time?
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about that one game because the past 2 games we've actually looked pretty good. Our turnovers have been really small. We had scoring from every player except for maybe one, I think, in the past game. And then I kind of compare based on other teams, and I think it was a 4A team that come out and played the same team we played, and we beat them worse than they did. So I'm not really concerned about that one game, us having a few turnovers. I think just being young and having so many new guards, everybody was just kind of confused on who needs to run the point guard and who needs to get on the wing, and we had a lot of people calling for the ball and getting out of position. And since then, we've really worked on, hey, this is where I want you. I don't ever want you going up and running the point guard position. You run your lane, you stay in your lane. This is your job, this is your role. And I think since that night, because that night didn't just hurt me, it kind of crushed them too, to come out and play like that with our fans and to not live up to the expectations that we know we should have. So they've done a really great job after that night, pulling it back together and filling their role.
Coach, you're in your second year in that 14 district, and I know that probably don't play any district games till the first of the year. But when you look, Westmoreland looks to be at the top again, and a team that you challenged and played with. They've got a great system going up there, and they always play hard on defense and try to limit you offensively. And it seems like, at least in the early going of your season, you've got several different players, even some younger players, that are stepping up and scoring for you. And I know that's for you to be successful down the road, you've got to have that from a lot of different players.
Yeah, I saw Westmoreland actually this weekend, and they lost to Upperman by 6 or 7. And of course, they're still going to look good this year. But I'm pretty satisfied right now with what we're doing, minus that one game. But I think we're tougher to guard this year. We've got 5 people on the floor at all times that can make an impact on the game, and that's what we needed. We were kind of lacking that last year. We might have 1 or 2 that weren't really a threat to score, so they were able to double a couple other players. But it's pretty hard to do that this year, because if someone's not being productive on the floor, I've got 2 or 3 more sitting over there that I can put in that will be productive. So it's really nice to have that in subs if somebody's having an off night, to be able to just go with the next one and know that you're going to get something out of somebody.
Coach Jenna Bush, nominated for Tennessee High School Girls Athlete of the Week last week. You expect a lot from her. I know you got a couple of seniors in Pelham and Holt that's going to be big for you this year. Do you expect a lot of Bush come January to February, because it'll be a time to where juniors start to play like seniors?
Yeah, Jenna really wasn't a surprise to me this year. The day I came in, we had open gym, and that day I was a little shocked, because I thought, well, she didn't even dress out last year. She kind of looks like our best player right now. So the first day I was shocked, but right now how she's playing isn't a surprise to me, because if you look at our roster, you're going to have Aniston. They're going to have their best defender on Aniston. Then you're going to have 2 doubling Bella every time she touches the ball. So that really is opening up 3 other people to be a threat to score. And we just had to find the other person that would put the ball in the hole, and I think we've definitely found that in Jenna. She does the extra work. She picks up the scrap when people throw it up there. She'll go grab the rebound and put it back in. She'll defend the other team's best player. She'll just do the work that nobody else wants to do, and everybody needs a player like her.
And it'll take a lot of pressure off of Pelham and Holt too.
Right, definitely. I've actually seen Aniston getting doubled a little bit here on the wing, trying to get some traps, getting the ball out of her hand, which is understandable. But and then it's coming with Bella down there down low. So I'm really proud of my other kids for stepping up and getting, 7 to 10 points a game. And then Jenna stepping up and getting 20. She's just knocking down those easy little shots right around the rim. And I'm really proud of her for that.
Coach, we had your AD on here back during football, and he was talking about some of the upgrades that you've had there at County High School for your facilities. I know with your locker room, you've got some new fitness, some weightlifting equipment. You had a jumbotron there into what we call the Lions Den. And when you look at that, Coach, I know that Robert Harris Gymnasium, named after a longtime great coach there. When you look at those upgrades, I think it gives life or extra added life to a tradition-rich field program like County has had.
Yeah, when I came on, that was really one of my main goals is the girls didn't really have a weight room or somewhere that they could go in their own area and feel comfortable. It was always over on the boys' side, and the boys had to walk through there, to leave. So we invested quite a bit of money. I fundraised a lot of money that first year to give them something that they could have as their own. And then this year, Mr. Nichols, he had mentioned wanting the Jumbotron and if he thought we could make that happen. And that was about a $30,000 project. And I definitely want to just give all the credit to my assistant coach, Kendall Smith. He really went out to get that funded, and he brought the money in from the businesses with that. And we are so thankful for those people who gave for that because it's a really nice screen. We went with like the nicest screens that you could get because when we've been to some other gyms, the screen's kind of grainy, and we're like, well, if we're going to do it, we're going to go in and we're going to do it the best that we can do it. And so he definitely did a great job with that.
Coach, looking at the district, of course, there's only 4 teams, and of course, that's going to be redone next year, which is going to change the landscape considerably for a lot of teams in the Upper Cumberland. But looking at the district, what do you see?
I would put us at the top, of course, but Westmoreland is probably supposed to win the district.
I really think, Coach Patrick, that your team can challenge them. I don't know that Smith County and Watertown, that's nothing against them, just from what I've seen in the early going, it looks like it's y'all's to fight for that regular season championship.
Yeah, and I'd love to see us win the regular season championship. Of course, that's what we want to do. We don't come to lose, we come to win every game. But when we're looking past that and we're looking at how far, what our long-term goals are, really is when the district tournament starts, is when real basketball starts. Season always matters because that's where you get placed in the tournament, but anybody can come out of that tournament on top, So after season, that's definitely our main goal, is to come out on top when it gets to the district tournament and put ourselves in the best spot for the region that we can.
Well, Coach Ashley Patrick, we appreciate you visiting with us, and best of luck to you and the Lionettes.
Thank you so much. It was good to talk to y'all.
We'll preview upcoming games from the area next on the Box Score, sponsored by Carthage Safeway.
What is your emergency?
I think I'm being robbed.
Sir?
These big home security guys want way too much money from me.
Let's connect you to a local company right away.
It's a crime what big national companies charge for home security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation.
Help is on the way, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Switch now and save. Call or visit DTC Security online today.
Preston Brothers Construction knows what it takes to get your next building project completed the right way and the way that you want it done. As a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor serving Woodbury and surrounding counties, you can trust Preston Brothers to put their many years of experience to work for you. For help with the design, construction, or management of your next residential or commercial building project, there's only one team to call: Preston Brothers Construction, 615-563-2885.
From payroll and bookkeeping to expert tax preparation and advice, H&R Block is ready to work for you. For the year-round services you need and the one-on-one attention you deserve, partner with H&R Block Business Services. You focus on your business, we'll handle the books. Call today to make an appointment with our Carthage, Smithville, or Woodbury office. H&R Block Business Services, helping your business prosper with a unique combination of services, expertise, and convenient locations.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master, certified, and experienced heavy-duty maintenance techs, maintenance supervisor, entry-level and experienced miners and exploration infill drillers, grade operator, electricians, laboratory and metallurgical technician, senior metallurgist, and more. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and lots more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Box Score, Basketball Edition number 1. Terry Collins along with Jeff Barnes. And, we've not got football completely out of the way yet, Jeff. We've still got to go to Finley Stadium in Chattanooga and have the state championship games, which are coming up this week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah, it's always an exciting time of the year. It's kind of sad to see football season go. But now that we're in the basketball, for getting in the basketball frame of mind. But there's still some got to get that football out of it.
Right. Let's go ahead and look at what's coming up for the Division II, which starts on Thursday night, December the 1st. That's going to be Friendship Christian undefeated versus Nashville Christian. Then CPA and Lipscomb. Of course, CPA is the team that beat Oakland, the only team to beat them this year. Going up against Lipscomb, of course, Trent Dilford just named the head coach at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. So when you look, Jeff, I think that's the game that a lot of people are anxious to see is, CPA and Lipscomb again.
Yeah, that's going to be a great matchup, and I know that's going to be emotional for Coach Dilford, because it's something that he wanted to do. He wanted to coach high school, and now he's kind of moving on. CPA is going to be very tough. They showed it whenever they beat Oakland in the regular season. That just goes to show that Oakland's pretty dominant, but those Division II schools, they're very tough.
Go ahead and looking at the our next games, which a lot of local flavor with those. When you look at Clay County, first time they've ever been, they got the win over Coalfield, had to hold on up with 27 points, and Coalfield gets to Clay County's 4-yard line in the final 3 minutes there. But they hang on 40-33. Bruce Lamb, a longtime Livingston coach. Of course, you've got Jimmy Maynard on his staff, former Smith County Owl head coach, also coached at Upland. And Coach Maynard making his first trip ever to the Blue Cross Bowl as an assistant coach. He did go to the championships when he coached at Riverdale under Gary Rankin. So he's kind of familiar with that. Of course, Mike Dickerson, the defense coordinator, former Owl head coach as well for Clay County, making their first ever appearance. Their only loss was to Westmoreland, but a very tough foe in McKenzie, sitting there at 14-0. They've already beat Fayetteville, MAHS, beaten a lot of good teams. Class 2A, Tyner plays against Riverside. Tyner very athletic, beat York last week in the semifinals. And then Alcoa and East Nashville, a rematch of the Class 3A championship from a year ago.
And how about, I'm sorry, Terry.
Go ahead.
And what about Alcoa? Back in the championship?
Yeah.
No Gary Rankin? No problem.
Right, back there again. Looking at the 4A, Anderson County and Pearl Cone, Knoxville West, who Murphy Fair thinks may have the best team in any classification, going up against Page. And then Oakland versus Beach. Anthony Crabtree goes from 5A to 6A. Doesn't mean it's a beat. Of course, Anthony Crabtree, former player at York Institute, going against Kevin Creasy in Oakland. And, you know, they had a long winning streak broken earlier this year by CPA. But the Patriots, no doubt, with Beach, they're a grinded out style. Should be a clash of wheels in that 6A championship game.
Yeah, I think so too. Coach Creasy's done a fantastic job at Oakland. They're back in familiar territory. I think they're going to be a very tough team to beat.
Let's look at some of the upcoming area basketball games. Of course, Gordonsville and Smith County, that's the Owls and Lady Owls' first appearance at home after 6 games on the road. And when you look at Gordonsville coming to town, there's always a big rivalry, a lot of bragging rights here in Carthage coming up on Friday night.
I see how intense. I get a chance to watch this because I, got some family on Gordonsville, and just to see, just to see them go back and forth, and especially on football season, back in August, those two, doesn't matter their records, it's going to be good.
Clark Range at Monterey, and Katie Hopkins going from Monterey to Clark Range, that kind of adds a little. And of course, these two schools, I don't know, probably 15 minutes apart from each other, no more than 20. That's always a big rivalry. Of course, Clark Range at the single A level, and then you got Monterey, of course, in 5AA. I'm saying that's going to be and I'm not saying Clark Range is not going to win, but Monterey's a much improved team. That's going to be a highly intensive ball game.
Oh, no doubt about that, Terry. You talked about, former Monterey coach, now at Clark Range. Little spice before the Christmas season.
Yeah, anytime a player transfers from one school to the other, we've seen that'll be the case. When you look at the Gordonsville-Smith County boys, Oneida at Pickett, Red Boiling at Charleston County, and other District 7A games that are upcoming. Let's go ahead and look at some more games. Jackson County at Clay County, that's always a fierce rivalry. Of course, Clay County should have their football players only 3 days removed from a state championship game. Should be a good game in Salina. And then Jackson County at Gordonsville, Stone Memorial at Monterey. And, Stone's got 2 good clubs. But, my hat's off to Monterey for stepping up 2 classifications, playing against that bigger school. I think that'll help the Wildcats down the road. They may lose both of those. Not saying they won't, or that they will, but I still think down the road that should help them.
Only helps you out whenever you play that that tough competition. And you talk about Monterey stepping up, and this is really stepping up. Now you're going to the AAA school with Mike Buck,
right?
And it'll be tough.
It definitely will. Let's look at the District 6 AA upcoming games. On Thursday, Meigs County traveling to Cannon County. Then we talked about the Gordonsville at Smith County. You got Cannon County at Warren County, another border rivalry there. I think it'll be a good measuring stick for the Lions and Lionettes going up to McMinnville.
Yeah, I think so. We talked to Coach Patrick. I know that that was a tough stinging loss that they had to DeKalb County. Chance to avenge it, but we talked about earlier. Warren County much improved under Anthony Lippy, but I think that's going to be a good battle Friday night.
Of course, another big rivalry game, DeKalb County at Watertown. We say that a lot. It seems like when we reading these graphics, but that's developed into a good rivalry. Of course, at one time they were in the same district, and I think it'll be kind of a measuring stick for Watertown, to try to get some improved offensive play to try to knock off DeKalb County, who's got two formidable teams in the girls and the boys.
And against DeKalb County, Watertown's going to have to put 4 quarters together if they're going to have a shot.
Clarksville Northwest at Westmoreland. We talked earlier, Jeff, Westmoreland, Coach Perry, Coach Abner, they don't shy away from competition. I don't know what kind of teams the Vikings and Lady Vikings have, but still, when you step up in classification like they have on numerous occasions, that has to help you later in the season, even if you lose those games, playing a tough competition.
Yeah, and hosting a Clarksville Northwest team who's they're no slouch. So this will be a good test for the Eagles and Lady Eagles.
Usually your teams out of Clarksville, Jeff, are very athletic. You see some of those players that'll be playing at the collegiate level, Division I, Power 5 conferences in some cases, both for the women and the men. And I think that's a good measuring stick to play. That Westmoreland doesn't shy away from that competition. Just look at some other upcoming games. You got Macon County at Smith County. That's always a big rivalry game. Of course, it used to be a district game. It is no longer since the Smith County in 2A and Macon County in 3A, but it's a border rivalry. Watertown at Mount Juliet Christian. Then on Monday, you got Watertown at Cascade. And then Tuesday, another border rival, DeKalb County at Smith County and Macon County at Westmoreland. And, when you look, those are always, there's special games to be a part of. I think as an announcer, as a broadcaster, or for DTC TV, just to get to see these teams play, they're going to give it their all, and there's going to be a little extra on the line when these rivalries play each other.
Oh, yeah, and I'm especially looking forward to DeKalb and Smith coming up Tuesday night. I'll be there for that.
Right.
That's gonna be a tough one for the Lady Owls. DeKalb, coming in at 4-1, could be 5-1 into this matchup.
It should be a special game. Let's look at the District 7 AAA upcoming games. On Thursday, Tennessee Heat at Upland Boys. And then on Friday, a crowded schedule. DeKalb County at Watertown, Cumberland County at York, Stone Memorial traveling up to Knoxville to play Webb, Creekwood at Livingston. Of course, that's a pretty good drive from Creekwood all the way to Livingston. I think Creekwood may be in Dixon County. Then you got White County at Cookeville, and that's always been a great rivalry game, boys or girls.
It will be loud in Cookeville, and whenever they come to White County as well. Whenever those two teams get together, it doesn't matter what the records are. You can have a team with a so-so record and a team with a good record. You just never know in that game.
Kind of throw those out the window. Upman will be playing and a team to be determined up in the Tennessee-Kentucky border battle. Let's go ahead and look at some other games. Of course, we talked about Macon County at Smith County, then Upman girls in that battle. Then next Tuesday night, we talked about the DeKalb County-Smith County game. It'll be a Huff and Puff Trucking game of the week on DTC Sports. Some of the luster gone because John Sanders no longer with DeKalb County boys. Of course, you got Joey Agee there. He's very familiar with that rivalry. You had father against son when you had Trey against John in that boys game. But some girls games have been classics through the years. Especially over the last 8 or 10 years that have juggled back and forth.
And no doubt this is going to be another classic coming up Tuesday night.
You got Stone Memorial at Clark Range, Cumberland County at Minden Central, White County at Shebel. Of course, Shebel's fell off the map as far as girls basketball goes over the last few years.
And that matchup right there, White County and Shebel, if you think about it, back in the late 80s and early 90s, those two teams were perennials in the state championship just about every year.
Let's go ahead and look at one of our featured games, and of course that's Gordonsville at Smith County. We talked about that earlier over at Bill Landreth Gymnasium at Carthage. Let's go ahead and look at the air times. The replay on Wednesday, December 7th at 7 p.m., on Thursday, December the 8th, and Saturday, December 10th at 7, and Monday, December the 12th at 1. We got another game. We talked about it, Huff and Puff Trucking game of the week. DeKalb County at Smith County at Bill Landreth Gym in Carthage. They play that game on Tuesday, December the 6th at 6 p.m. And then the replays for that were going to be on Friday, December the 9th at 7, Saturday, December the 10th at 1, and then on Sunday and Monday, December 11th and 13th at 7 p.m. Jeff, enjoyed working with you this first show and looking forward to many more to come.
Looking forward to next week, and then we can get to talk about some teams that maybe that we starting district play.
Right. As always, thanks to Justin Malden for doing all the behind-the-scenes work. For Jeff Barnes, I'm Terry Collins. Good night on the box score.